Welcome back. The UJ Richard Maponya Annual Entrepreneurship Conference kicked off in Soweto today. Many people in this country are committed to vitalising or revitalising township economies. Government says it's committed to ensuring they become self-sufficient. So where are we right now when it comes to township economies? To discuss, we're joined by the director at the University of Johannesburg's Faculty of Management, the Centre for Small Business Development, Moipone Molotsi. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
So I've spoken to Richard Maponya, this conference named after him, and he was there today. Very inspirational. What did he have to say?
Well, I mean, there's a number of things that he shared with us today. One of them being that he's not about to, to retire, because he's saying retire and do what? There's a series of businesses that he has started now.
He's well into his 90s. So
he's 95.
Sure.
He's turning 95 in December. So he was just telling us that, if people his age cannot retire, nobody else should say they need to retire, even at his age. So he started a series of businesses, including chicken farming. And he informed us that, now he's actually supplying about 26 hospitals in the Pretoria area with chickens and eggs. And he's moving into Johannesburg. And he also announced that he'll be launching a bank. And he gave us a rundown. So many of us were not aware that actually African Bank was started by him, many years ago. And, they had to give in because there was no support from government. So he said that he's launching a bank where he will be supporting small businesses.
Okay, so still going strong and
he's still going very strong.
Even going further. Now the issue is that it's been said for years that many people live in townships, but the tragedy is they often take their money outside to spend in the suburbs, even to spend in Sandton shopping malls. Soweto is almost like a city to me, but it's got that township legacy. Where are we when it comes to Soweto or township economies in general?
Well, we are really doing bad when it comes to supporting our own businesses in the townships. So it still affects that people are moving out of the townships to go and shop, elsewhere. And I think they believe in so many ways. Firstly, local is not quite qualitative, also, sometimes we take this issue very lightly, but our people don't want to support each other because they believe they are making you rich, and all of those things, because they see a few people making progress, in their own vicinity, and it does not go well, with a lot of them. And, I can give an example of one, township business. They're selling liquor and, all of that in a township where when they launched, they were selling from a very small, area where people will sit on, on the floor and all of that to enjoy their beer and all of that. So the minute the person renovated, and brought up to speed and brought in the quality that people are looking for, people moved away because they believe we are supporting him and we're making him rich. So those are some of the issues that, in the townships, people are struggling with.
How do you deal with that? Because I know somebody who is doing this, helping young entrepreneurs in townships, and he said that was a problem. As soon as you became successful, instead of the community rallying around you, there was some resentment. Why is that there? Is this a cultural issue, and can we get around it?
I think we can get around it. Many countries have gone around a lot of issues, pertaining to, awareness building. Because if there's enough awareness, I mean, if you look at Singapore, previously they didn't have as much productivity as they have now. So they started running huge campaigns over a period of time to bring people up into, being productive, within the workspaces. So it is possible. It requires, everybody in the country to become, to be involved in awareness building, because it's only awareness, that will bring people up to speed and give them figures. So if you don't support, these businesses will be closing down, and they will still have, because people they've not really calculated what it costs them to move out of the township to go and shop, in the towns.
And the attitude you're talking about is incredible, because you're not helping that guy who owns the liquor store, but you'll go to the suburbs or to Sandton, and you are making somebody else rich then, but not your fellow township dwellers.
And that's
basically
what even Dr. Maponya was addressing today, to say we need to support each other. He emphasized it so much, probably for about 10 minutes when he was educating people about, supporting one another. He talked about some of the, business people, top business people of those, that time, Shabalalas and all of those, that where are they now? It's because people never supported them, for them to grow their businesses.
Will this conference touch on the relationship between South African entrepreneurs and foreign entrepreneurs? There was a lot of controversy, even attacks, but a lot of people were saying, let's learn from what foreigners are doing if they are successful.
Last year, in fact, our conference, the theme was around the same issue that you are raising. We brought in, foreign-owned companies and also local companies to have a dialogue around what, can be done. And, we had the owner of the China malls actually speaking, at the conference, and he told us about his own journey, because sometimes, when we see people successful, we don't think that they started from somewhere. So he was sharing how he came into the country. He couldn't speak English. He couldn't even he didn't have anything, but he started growing his business. And, and he highlighted some of the issues, for instance, faced by, black owned, businesses. For instance, the culture of saving, the culture of, forward looking and planning, ahead in terms of what is going to happen in the business. A lot of the businesses that we deal with are actually looking at the here and now, and they spend a lot of money. One of the areas that without looking at how am I going to grow this business. I mean, in the past, on Friday actually and Saturday, we had investors from different countries, Germany, Italy, as part of the conference, who came in to train our SMEs on how to pitch their ideas and their businesses, to investors. And on Monday, we actually had the pitch where we had 20 investors listening to the ideas. As South Africans, we have ideas, and there is support available for people to grow their own ideas, but there has to be commitment into growing the business and people learning on things which ought not to be done, which will affect your businesses if you continue.
Let's end on that. So you're talking about this pitch and investors listening. Is that a great opportunity for Soweto entrepreneurs themselves? It sounds like Dragon's Den. Do these investors actually give them the money to go ahead?
Last year, we had the first Dragon's Den, type program last year, where we had, again, the same number of investors who came again this year. There was one entrepreneur who got about 1.4 billion rand, one entrepreneur from their investors. And the same investors came again. So there is support, and they've selected from the 200 that we presented.
Do you remember what that person was doing? The business idea?
No, he's into green meat, like green transportation of meat, and even storage of meat. And he is doing very well even to date. So for this year's conference, the 20 investors actually selected about 72 businesses, and they're going to provide market access, funding for these. In fact, they were fighting over them. So I want this one, I want this one, I want to work with this one. And one of the investors actually committed this year that at the conference that she doesn't want to just come in once a year. That's the one from Mauritius. She doesn't want to come once a year. She wants this program to be running throughout the year. So next year we have good news for our township businesses, where angel investors from all around the world will be in the townships looking for ideas, looking for raw talent, looking for people who are passionate, and providing support. So this is not about money only. It's also about mentorship and, bringing in expertise, which they are committed to do.
This is beautiful. So township economy still in the doldrums, but a lot of encouraging words from you today. Thank you so much, UJ's Moipone Molotsi. Well, young entrepreneurs